Planet of the Vampires. That's right, folks. We're talking a really weird vintage science fiction film this week on Galactic Tales because I was just in the mood for something weird. This film was under 90 minutes, so I said, I'm going to watch it. I need a break. I have no time left in the world. I have no time to die. That doesn't matter because we have Planet of the Vampires, an Italian film that I had zero expectations for. I heard people talking about it one day, saved a screenshot of the conversation I saw on Twitter. I'm like, I'm going to watch this one day for my show. Now the time has come. Oh, is it good? This is straight up my shit. Like, when we talk about my favorite science fiction films, I love a good classic weird thing. This is the prototype to Alien. This comes out before Alien. I definitely feel the inspiration. I feel the tight-knit idea. I feel the crew in this harrowing escape trying to get back to this world where things are trying to attack them. I feel the Prometheus connection between a creature that's already existing in a world. Holy shit, is this film really weird, and I love it. So, it's the 60s. Maybe it's not in terms of the story, but it's the 60s when this is made. We have our tight-knit group of just people on a ship. There's two ships, actually. We have our commander, whose name is Mark. And you know his name is Mark because everybody says Mark at least 40 times in this film. It is probably the most commonly said word in this film, is Mark. He's a little bit older, a little bit more wise compared to the rest of his crew. And who is this crew? Well, you got your young kid named Wes. You got your girl. There you go. There's the girl in there. The blonde one, the doctor who's kind of cranky, and the expendable ones that will die anyways. Yeah, it's just that crew. They're like doing something in space. They pass this meteor shower. Suddenly they are pulled into this planet because they lose contact with their other crew. And you see at least 4 minutes of them pretending to fall onto this planet. Like the gravity is shifting. Everybody's leaning to one side. There's a good 4 minutes of it maybe. And I'm like, wow, dedication. We would just see the outside of the ship crashing. But we can't do that here because we don't have the budget for a ship. So when we actually see the outside of the ship, it's just a little model landing on top of nothing. It's amazing. I love it. But this crew realizes we have to go find contact with that other ship to figure out what happened to them. And thus leads to one of the best horror elements of a science fiction we've talked about on this channel. Have we talked about horror and science fiction mixed? I don't know. It's great. It's great. And I encourage you to watch it because it looks spectacular. First off, yes, it is pretty much 1960s sets on a cheap budget, but they do so much of that. They have like one corridor set that they go to at least 7 different times in the film from different angles. It looks fantastic. They have one big ship room that you can go all the way around. It looks like it's 360 and you can film from different locations. Just big gray walls and floors and everything. It looks so gray and dumb, but it's so cool and it makes for some really great looking special effects. And you could just have so much fun happening in there because it's all one area. Film it as many ways as you want because it looks that good. And they do. They really put that set to use because it's just looking at nothing. It's one big telescope, one big screen, a bunch of buttons that go nowhere. Fantastic. Play your little heart out, baby. And then you get to the outside of the ship on this planet. Oh, it's great colors, great uses of blues and greens and reds and purples. Just so many of these spectacle colors. And you're like, this is so artsy and kind of brilliant. There's so many fantastic camera movements in here. And it might just be because it's the 60s. That was like the era of like the zoom lens and we pull everything in. Or just the era of like the quick shots. And oh, blew my mind. I was just watching this like, wow, why am I enjoying this so much? And I remembered this is right up my alley because it's brilliant. It's cool to look at. We'll get into other elements in a bit, but I just want to spend a minute talking about the actual uniforms they wear because this, I think, changed my life. Just watching these uniforms. I am a huge fan of a popped collar. If you can find a way to work a huge, long, stupid collar popping out your neck, I'm on board for anything you have to do. This entire uniform is predicated on the notion that a collar pretty much goes up to their ear line. And then they have to put on a big stupid swimming cap. And I'm like, this is just the best. It's just all black with outlines of like red and orange. And it looks so good. They have stupid like lightning bolt symbols to like show you who's in charge. Mark has 3, everyone else has 2. It's amazing. Just those designs are great. And then they have like another suit they wear later, like casual wear, I guess. And it's just like a loose fitting jacket. I'm like, this is great. The costume design on this movie is impeccable. And I think it's going to be something I'm thinking about forever. When I am designing a character or thinking about a new look, I'm coming back to this because it is just so cool. And they have like these big domes that they put on their head when they go outside for the first time. But once they realize, oh, the atmosphere is not going to kill us, forget the domes. We don't need to put them on. We have to show these collars off. Yes, please, honey bunny. That was really cool. It shouldn't work. I love it so much. It's just so bad. And there is a horror element to this. It is called Planet of the Vampires for a reason. Is that reason because they are attacked by vampires? No, it's more zombie-ish, but whatever. So, zombies. You understand what a zombie is. You can get behind that entire identity. Basically, what's happening is the crew falls, something attacks them, and suddenly they're all dead. And they're like, oh, we should bury our dead. We're going to put them in a big plastic wrap, just tuck them into the ground, and eventually they're going to reemerge as undead and attack us and try to kill us. And you're like, okay, this is like a fun bottle episode. It's like when the alien comes on the ship and tries to attack everybody on the Nostronos, and you're like, okay, I see where that's going. Very fun. No, it's not like that at all. It's not. It goes to some very interesting ways. So the majority of this movie is just watching our crew get picked off until there's really nobody left. And we end with the three main ones, Mark, the girl, and Wes. You know, the young one, the girl, the old one. That's who we got left. Everyone else eventually dies, gets killed off in certain ways, and it's very fun. The effects look great. The blood is very cool. Sometimes it just kind of gets annoying where, like, nobody's believing that the girl's seeing stuff, so we have to kind of snap her out of this daze, or we have to go check the unmarked grave of the guy we just buried. And I'm like, yeah, you should have done that in the first place. I don't know why you would suddenly think to take a chance when you are seeing the things happening around you. Very weird. These people just have like guns that if you get hit, you instantly die. I love a good gun like that. Just a ray gun that as soon as it hits you with no power or force, you die. Those are here too. That's kind of fun, I guess. But there's two things that suddenly take this from just like, oh man, we're being attacked by zombies. We have to run. And there's blood everywhere. We're dying. My brother is killed. All this bad stuff. There's two things that happen that suddenly shift this into a different gear. The first one that happens is the girl and the old guy go to investigate some ancient ruin that was there. And turns out it's a crashed ship. Another ship was here. Another race of civilian, or not civilians, just aliens were here. I have not stopped thinking about the, like, I guess, prop skeleton for that alien. Because it was brilliant. It was just a big skeleton. It was like 3 times the size of a human, just a little hunched over, a little bit weirder arm shape and skull structure. I love it so much. And then they go inside the ship, they find another skeleton there, and they hear like this weird language communication that is just screaming at them like, hey, get off the ship. But they don't understand what it means, so the ship tries to attack them. And I'm like, this is amazing. That was just so cool. Like, I have not stopped thinking about those skeletons. They're just gorgeous and so good, and they just work so well for this world, this tight little world. It was such a pleasant surprise. And then the bigger surprise that really shocked me was that these are not actually just, mindless creatures. No, they're a certain race of alien that is trying to get off this planet and need an inhabitable body to do so. So what happens at the end of this weird movie? Well, guess what? Mark, our old guy, and our girl actually get infected by these creatures. And Wes is just like, you guys are acting very weird. They get their ship up and running through a series of events where you have to place a thing on top of a thing, but there's only one left. And they head for Earth. They're like, this planet seems perfect. And then they look at like actual footage of like Manhattan from the 60s. They're like, oh yes, they look very simple. I think we'll be able to do well here. Like, whoa. That was such a bold ending just to show regular Earth for these creatures to come and take over. Their race is all dead except for them two, and now they're going to head to just regular old Earth and take us over. It ends on a dark note. Nobody wins in the end. The bad guys win. They killed this entire crew, and now they're coming for Earth. And I'm like, what a bold ending. I am super impressed with that. And I guess it's an Italian film, so yeah, fuck up New York, baby. Who cares? I thought that was such a brilliant turn of events and made for something super interesting. Very weird movie, but I liked it so much. It was so colorful and bright with great visuals and great camera work, and feels very much like the inspiration or like the template for what's going to come with horror later and science fiction horror later. Very cool. Everything about it just surprised me. The costumes were great. The story was intriguing. The ending was fantastic. The way we slowly see every member of the crew get picked off and eventually die, very satisfying. Silly at times with the stupid gun that like zap. Blah, yeah, it is kind of silly. But that's science fiction. If you can't take it at its worst, you don't deserve it at its best. I really liked Planet of the Vampires, and I'm going to recommend everybody check out this film because it's not what you're going to be expecting. It is so different and full of ideas and classic storylines. I dig it a lot. I really dig it, and I think a lot of people should check it out. So that is going to do it for this rendition of Galactic Tales. Now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.